Hello everyone. The next topic is practical transformer. So the practical transformer is different from ideal transformer. So it has a iron losses, winding resistance, and magnetic leakage giving rise to the leakage reactance. So in case of ideal transformer, these losses, resistances, and leakage reactances we assume zero. But in practical case, we can't ignore these losses, winding resistance, and leakage rate. So first one is iron losses. The iron core is subjected to alternating flux. So there occur eddy current and hysteresis losses in it. So these two losses all known together as iron losses or core losses. So the iron loss depends upon the supply frequency, maximum flux density of the core. Next is winding resistance. So in case of ideal transformer, we assume the winding resistance is zero. But in practical transformer, since the consists of copper conductors, so it immediately follows that both primary and secondary will have winding resistances. The primary resistance R1, that is this, and secondary resistance R2, it this acts in series with respective windings. So when current flows through the windings, there will be the power loss as well as loss in voltage drop due to higher drop. So this will affect the power factor and even will be the less than V1 as suppose this is a 100 voltage and there will be the higher drop, that is resistance. So suppose 20%, that is from 120% voltage drop is takes place in this R1, so remaining is E1. So that is 80 volt. So this will affect the power factor and E1 will be the less than V1, while V2, that is V2 will be the less than E2. And last one is leakage reactances. So both primary and secondary current produces flux. The flux phi which links both the windings is called as a useful flux or as a mutual. So primary current would produce some flux phi 1 which would not link with secondary, but uh, links is passing through the air, so there will be the leakage flow. So similarly secondary current would produce some flux phi 2 which would not link with the primary. So the flux such as phi 1 or phi 2 which links only one winding is called as a leakage flux. So the leakage flux paths are mainly through air. So the effect of these leakage fluxes would be the same as though inductive reactances were connected in series with each winding of the transformer that had no leakage flux. So we can give the leakage flux as a x1 or x. So, in other terms, the effect of primary leakage flux phi 1 is introduce an inductive reactance x1 in the series with the primary winding. Similarly, secondary leakage flux phi 2 introduces an inductive reactance x2 in series with the secondary winding. So, there will be the no power loss due to leakage reactances. The presence of leakage reactance in the winding changes the power factor as well as there is a voltage loss due to the IX drop. So practical transformer on no load. First we will see the practical transformer on no load, that is secondary is open circuit. So consider a practical transformer on no load, that is secondary on open circuit. The primary will draw a small current I0 to supply primary iron losses, means iron losses in transformer, and very small amount of copper losses in transformer because current flows only in primary side. As secondary is open circuited, there will be the no current flowing, so there will be the no copper loss in secondary. So hence the primary no load current I0 is not 90 degree behind the applied voltage V1 but lags it by angle phi 0, that is phi less than 90 degree. So uh, this is only phi 0 less than 90 degree because there is a some portion of resistance is present as it is practical transformer. So it will not exactly lag by 90 degree but lags but less than 90 degree. So no load input power W0 is equal to V1 I0 cos phi 0. So from phasor diagram, that is V1 is applied voltage and Im is lags behind the voltage. Lags magnetizing current which is 90 degree and IW is watt, wattless component. So the copper loss and iron loss, that is both Im magnetizing current and watt component uh, gives the no load current I0. So the from phasor diagram, no load primary current I0, that is total current which supplies the iron losses and copper losses. So I0 will supply iron losses and copper losses. That is the no load primary current I0 can be resolved into two rectangular components. That is component IW in phase with applied voltage V1 because it is resistive quantity which is in phase with voltage V1. So this is known as active or working or iron loss component and supplies the iron loss and a very small primary copper loss. So IW is equal to I0 cos phi 0. The component IM lagging behind the voltage V1 by 90 degree is known as magnetizing component, and this component produces a mutual flux by the core. So IM will be the I0 sin phi 0. So again I0 is phasor sum of Im and Iw. So we can written as I0 is equal to Im square plus Iw square because this is I0, this is Im and this is Iw. So according to Hybrid theorem, we can calculate I0 equal to Im square plus Iw. So no load power factor is cos phi 0, that is IW. Cos phi is adjacent upon hypo, so IW upon I0. So no load primary copper loss, that is I0 square R1 is very small and may be neglected. So therefore the no load primary input power is practically equal to the iron loss in the transformer. That is no load input power W0 is equal to iron loss. So ideal, next is ideal transformer on. So we connected the load on the secondary side of this transformer. So let connect the load ZL across the secondary of an ideal transformer. So the secondary ZL we consider the inductive load. So the secondary EMF E2 will cause current I2 to flow through the load, that is I2 will be the E2 divided by ZL or E2 divided by ZL or V2 divided by ZL. So the angle at which I2 leads or lags the voltage V2 depends upon the resistance and reactance of the load. So here we consider the inductive load so that current I2 lags behind the V2 or E2 by angle phi 2. So in this diagram, the current I2 led to by angle phi 2. The secondary current I2 setups an MMF, that is magnetomotive force N2 I2, which produces a flux in opposite direction to the flux phi originally set up in the primary by the magnetizing current. So this will change the flux in the core from original value. However, the flux in the core should not change from the original value. So in order to fulfill this condition, the primary must develop an EMF which is exactly counterbalancing the secondary EMF N2 I2. Hence, primary current I1 must flow such that N1 I1 is equal to N2 I2. So from this equation, I1 is equal to N2 by N1 by 2, that is N2 by N1 is K. I1 is equal to KI2. So this means that if there is a current flow in the secondary circuit, it will an EMF. So primary EMF in this direction and secondary EMF in this direction. So it will oppose that flux. So, but the flux in the transformer is remains will remain constant. So, in order to balance that secondary EMF, the primary draws a extra current that will set up the constant flux in the transformer. So, thus, when a transformer is loaded and carries a secondary current I2, then a current I1 is equal to KI2 must flow in the primary to maintain the MMF balance. In other terms, the primary must draw enough current to neutralize the demagnetizing effect of secondary current so that mutual flux phi remains constant. So thus, as the secondary current increases, the primary current I1 also increases and keeps the mutual flux remains constant. So the power input therefore automatically increases with output. So for example, if K is equal to 2 and I2 is equal to 2 ampere, then primary will draw a current of I1 is equal to KI2, that is 2 into 2 is equal to 4 ampere. If secondary current is increased to 4 ampere, then primary current will become I1 is equal to KI2, that is 2 into 4 will be the 18. So the figure shows the phasor diagram of an so this is the ideal transformer on load. The figure shows the phasor diagram of an ideal load. So here the value of K has been assumed unity so that primary phasors are equal to secondary phasor. So secondary current I2 lags behind the V2 by phi 2 because we taken as a inductive load. So it causes a primary current I1 will be K times I2. So as K is unity, so I1 is equal to I2 which is in anti-phase with it. So I1 is equal to I2 which is opposite with it. And phi 1 is equal to phi 2. So this angle will be the same. Phi 1 is equal to phi 2. So cos phi 1 is equal to cos phi 2. So this power factor on the primary side is equal to the power factor on the secondary side. Since there are no losses in ideal transformer, so input primary power is equal to the secondary output power. So V1 I1 cos phi 1 is equal to V2 I2 cos phi 2. So in next lecture we will study the practical transformer on